All right, so everyone, welcome to our special edition What's in Cookidoo class tonight. And this one is especially for our TM5 owners. However, we do have TM6 owners in the room as well. And so we're going to be using both Thermomixes and working alongside each other with those. So the dishes we chose tonight were strategic. We wanted to show you how when you've got a TM5, you can adapt the recipes that are maybe tailored for the 6. And we wanted to show you the cutter, which some of you may have and some of you may not, and it's not available at the moment, but it will be. So we've chosen the slow cooked meatballs in tomato sauce, which you can't actually access when you've got a TM5. So I'm going to be doing that one in this TM5 here manually. And Oxy's already got hers cooking away in the TM6. We're going to be showing you the chicken Buddha bowl as well. Now, this is one of my favorites with the cutter. And so Oxy and Ilham will be doing that with you. Now, as we go through today, you'll see what it is to be a consultant. We do these classes virtually. We do them in person. And we also love to get out and do cooking experiences with you guys. So if you haven't hosted a demo in a while or ever, we strongly encourage you to get in touch with your consultant. We'll have a poll tonight at the end as well. So we'll get a bit of feedback from you. But this class is for you, so definitely ask questions as we go through. And yeah, let's get started. So I think Oxy and Ilham, you guys are up first, aren't you?
Yes, we are. Yeah, so for those of you that have a TM5, because some TM5 customers ask me, can you skip steps like you can on a TM6? So yes, you definitely can, and I'll show you how to do it today. Because we have pre-made the rice, because who wants to wait 15 minutes to just watch rice cooking? So the first step is to cook the rice, and because I've done that already, I just go into the recipe. Claire, did you want us to actually, did we want to show the customers how to actually get the recipes first of all?
Yeah, do we have any TM5 owners who don't know how to find their recipe on the machine? Just wondering how much. I reckon they do know how to find them, unless they've just bought a secondhand TM5. That might be different. So yeah, guys, just ask your questions in the chat and we can cover those off for you.
Okay, so if everyone knows how to do that, I'll just skip right ahead and I'll show you how to skip the steps in the TM5 recipes. So you click on start to start your recipe. So, and then the first thing you'll see is your ingredients for all the ingredients you need for the recipe. Scroll down to your, all the way down. Actually, no, you don't have to scroll down. You click on the little green arrow and you click on full view. And mine takes a bit long. And then now you can scroll down to preparation. And because I've already done the rice step, I can skip the rice step and I go straight to step 2. So you just click on step 2 and then it should open up the next step, which is the adding 1.5 tablespoons of soy sauce. So obviously you're doing it in the 6 and I'm doing it in the 5.
Let's have a race, Ilham.
I'm glad you showed us how to do that, Ilham, because I had totally forgotten how to do that.
Okay, so that's just 1.5 tablespoons of soy sauce.
A little bit more of a toasted sesame oil. I really love the flavor, so I put a little bit more.
Yeah.
It says per recipe. And my rice is already made as well, so I prepared it in a bowl, and that's what I'm going to report to you at the end of the class.
So guys, how did you do the rice? Was that in the basket in the Thermomix?
I did the steamed version using boiled rice recipe because it was a very small amount, only for 250. That's why I used it.
Okay, so you adapted the recipe and did your rice with a separate recipe instead of following the chicken Buddha bowl one, correct?
I just followed the recipe, and the recipe does say to use the simmering basket, the steaming basket, and that's what I've done.
Yeah, great.
Like it does say to skinless chicken breast fillets in like 3 centimeter little pieces. So that's what I've done there.
Why would they move on? They've just made a friggin' record, Neville.
Okay, and then we've got to put the steaming basket up the top. Next, and then 8 minutes at 100 degrees on speed. For a half.
Now, for all the newbies, the reason we put the basket up on the top, for any dishes above 95 degrees, we put the basket on instead of a measuring cup, or sometimes it's called MC. And here we have 8 minutes to go for our chicken to be ready.
Okay, so that's over to me, isn't it? I'm starting the meatballs recipes now. Oh, damn it, I missed it. It shut down on me. So I have borrowed this from one of our consultants because I don't have a TM5 anymore. I used to use TM5s. I've got a cook key on this one. However, the recipe that we're using today is not accessible with a TM5 in the guided cooking. And so what I'm just going to show you guys is how to access it if you're a TM5 owner and you don't know how to get it. I'm just going to screen share with you. Okay, so this is my Cookidoo screen. Now, if I had a TM, what you want to do is set your preferences. Now, some of you will have done this and others may not have. Sorry, I'm just trying to move this Zoom bar. Totally in my way. Okay, so up here, I want to view my profile. And I want to make sure I've got either the blade cover, I do the blade cover and the blade cover peeler. So if you've got the blade cover, then you want to select that. If you've got the blade cover peeler, I would select both of them. So you need to have that in order to access this recipe. For the chicken Buddha bowl, you also need to be able to access the cutter because I checked out all of the options in there. And so you do need to select that one in order to find the recipe. You then want to go to your filters, just make sure you've got English and make sure you have not selected a Thermomix version. Because if you're a TM5 owner, you're probably going to select TM5. That means you won't have to look through all the recipes that you don't have access to. However, for this particular one, we're just going to take that off and make sure there's no Thermomix version. So we've got that. And then you will be able to find these two recipes. So slow cooked meatballs in tomato sauce. Now, the reason you won't be able to find this as a TM5 customer is it's got high heat, which is one of the modes of the 6. And then, of course, it tells you you need your blade cover peeler. And the same with the chicken Buddha bowl, it has the cutter. So just going to go out of that one now and start with this. So Ilham is going to talk me through the recipe. I'm going to cook manually. So I would bring it up on my phone on the app once I'd change my filters so I could access it. And we get started. So Ilham, you're going to talk me through what instructions I need to do.
I hope you guys can hear me clearly because the TM5 is, I don't know, here.
We can hear you. That's fine. And so you can see up on the screen, top left.
Yeah.
That's what it's telling us on the TM6. Yep.
Then you've got the blade cover, we can start with this recipe.
Yep.
And then I need to chop 60 grams of parmesan cheese and cut in 2 centimeter pieces.
So if I wanted to weigh this in my...
Stop for 1 second because that's making too much noise that might cover what you're trying to show.
Well, actually, Ilham, if you don't have to talk if you like, if that's easier, just move the screen as I need.
I just don't want to interfere with when you're talking. The marker is doing. And
yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, awesome. So I wanted to use my scales on the 5. There's a little scales button down there. On the 6, you swipe across to the mode screen. All right, so that's in there, and I'm going to next screen, Ilham. I'm going to chop that I'm just going to set my speed dial, 8 seconds and all the way up to 10. So Zoom's going to cut me out for a second. So count it up, same as on a TM6, counts up my timer. And so there's my grated Parmesan cheese. So if you were cooking manually, once you get familiar with your Thermomix, then you don't have to always use recipe and you don't always have to set the timer. I'm just going to make sure I spread all of that out. Okay, so I'm going to throw in my mince. Now I've got some beef mince and some pork mince. So there's I did just a tiny weensy little bit extra. And check out these bowls. These are my favorites. These are actually from the mix shop. They come in 3 sizes and they've all got lids and they're amazing. I'm almost tempted to get 2 lots. The good thing about this one is the basket fits inside it. So if you're straining anything like you're, through nut milk bags or anything like that, it's great. Okay, teaspoon of dried oregano and some salt and pepper. So that's all in there. Done those ones. Thank you, Ilham. Throw on my lid and 20 seconds on speed 5. So I could set 20 seconds by turning the dial and speed 5. I've used a TM6 measuring cup because I didn't have the, and if you just touch anywhere on the screen, just like the TM6, it will stop chiming. Yeah, so this is actually a 6MC, not a TM5 one because it didn't have the MC when I got it. So I think I just transfer that out. And before I shape these, I'm actually going to get the next step cooking so I can shape them while it's sauteing and we go over to the other girls. So just a little tip, if you do have stuff on your blades, you can put your Thermomix back in, throw on the lid and just turn it up to speed 9 or 10. And that just flicks all the food off the blades and onto the sides of the bowl. So I'll just show you guys what that looks like. And so then all I really need to do is just give it one little scrape around and I get those excess bits. Excellent. All right. So what's my next step? I think I now move into some garlic. I won't worry about cleaning it. Skip that. Okay, 3 cloves of garlic, halved. Well, I didn't read that instruction. Very good with my instructions here. These are quite large garlics, but that's okay because we're making a sauce and there's about 800 grams of tomatoes, 20 grams of oil. So set my scales. So if I was just cooking this manually, this one goes up in 5 gram increments, whereas your TM6 will go up in 1 gram increments. And I'm going to place my simmering basket on, not my measuring cup. And my TM5 basket doesn't have a lid, but still does the same thing. 3 minutes, so I want to set 3 minutes on my dial at 120, which is Varoma temperature, and speed 1. All right, so while that happens, I've also put on a glider board. See that? So these are probably my favorite mix shop item. Those ones are, if you're getting a TM6 at the moment, you don't have one, then they come with your Thermomix for a limited time. Now, when I'm rolling my meatballs, I just want to make sure my hands are wet. And I actually use, where is it? Has anyone got a kitchen toolkit? So this is the scoop in the kitchen toolkit. I love this for making biscuits or filling my muffin molds. And I also love it for rolling meatballs. So perfect size. And then I just want to get that out. Oh, there it is. Ilham's got it. Thank you, Ilham. And look, these are just going to sit on the kitchen bench because I don't have anywhere else to put them.
It actually makes a great present for Christmas, very practical, especially for people who go caravanning. Camping, I should say camping,
It is
caravanning.
good. Can you buy
Camping in a caravan.
them in the mix shop?
Yeah, I think you can.
I
Look,
only ask because they're one of those things that consultants have. So they're a consultant sort of like tool of the trade. We get special pricing on some pretty cool stuff as consultants.
Thank you, Talene. Talene just shared the link for us.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you, Talene. Oh, love to have you here helping us, Talene. How big does it say to do the meatballs?
Let's go back. What did it say? Let's see. About 30 grams each.
Oh, I don't know what that is. 30 grams. Okay, well, I've got a couple of Thermomixes here. I'm just going to weigh one. I reckon these probably are more than 30 grams. That's okay.
as long as they are all the same size, so they cooked evenly.
Yeah.
All the same size. Hang on, here we go. I don't know. They look the same size.
The left one in diameter is 5 millimeters less.
Oh. Normally we steam the meatballs in the Varoma, but the slow cooked one's really great because they cook in the sauce. So they become a little bit more tender and flavoursome. All right, check that out. Look how many meatballs I got. I only did 100 grams extra of mince. All right, there we go. And my garlic is almost ready.
And the smell is incredible, isn't it?
And my dog can obviously smell it. She's wandering around. It's like something's happening that makes me want to be here. Okay, so you guys can see that this has sauteed the garlic cloves. Now the TM5 gets hot, like it gets up to 120 degrees, which is hot enough for sauteing things like garlic. You'll see the TM6 doing high heat, or Oxy did high heat in the TM6, which we're about to do now. So I've got 200 grams of wedges of onions, so they go in. And I don't have a splash guard because mine is not going to do high heat. So what I'll put on is my basket. That's going to allow a little bit of the moisture to escape. And 6 minutes maximum temperature. That. The maximum temperature in the TM6 is 160 degrees. And for me, it's going to be Varoma temperature, speed 1. So the difference with the high heat is it will spin it, it'll stop, it'll turn it, it'll stop, it'll give it time to saute and work its magic. So 6 minutes, I think that's over to you guys. You up to your next step?
Yep, fantastic. Look how are you going?
So you know what I've realized between the TM5 and the TM6, the TM5 is a lot noisier. That's why I had to go on mute, sorry guys. But the chicken's perfectly cooked. And now we're going to shred that chicken.
Yes, my instructions tell me pour the cooking juices into a small bowl and set it aside. I buy my chicken from a local butcher. And my chicken is amazing. It's juicy. And I'm going to use the juices later on for the dressing. So I'm just going to pour it in a beautiful bamboo bowl, unbreakable. I have sweet children and an always hungry husband. So I'm just pouring the juices out and giving it a little bit of a squeeze.
I know one of my chicken pieces that fell in my sauce now. Thank you for reminding me because this one doesn't actually tell. Oh, it does. It does say for your.
I'm
for
here
the-
to know how to read the instructions.
Yeah.
Now I'm using just for the newbies. I'm using the different spatula. There is another spatula that I use for raw chicken. Since my chicken is already ready, I'm using a different spatula in order to avoid the cross contamination. So I'm keeping the instructions ahead. Poured my juices, pressing next, and it tells me leaving the chicken in the mixing bowl. Sometimes I skip the instructions and then I end up with a different result. So this time, since it's a cooking class, I must make sure that I am reading all the instructions. Okay, we're shredding the chicken now.
So I find with this recipe, when I do too much, well, not too much, when I do extra chicken, there's not enough sauce or juices left over. And so, yeah, just err on that because you do use the juices, you separate it out.
Now, when I shred the chicken, according to the recipe, it goes straight away into the reverse. And the reverse is on the screen, on the actual screen. Where is the reverse in TM5?
It's already set for you because the recipe is on the TM5. But you can just, yeah, but on the TM5 below, at the bottom of the like the display window, you'll get a little house with a home button, a little scales, and like a dough mode, a wheat grain, and then also like a reverse arrow, and that's where you change. If you're cooking manually, that's where you change to reverse mode. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep my chicken in there to keep it warm. I've already shredded it. I'm not sure if you guys seen that. And I'm just gonna change my bowl.
Yes, so I'll show you how beautifully chicken is shredded. This is incredible, and it smells insane. I did tell all my family, do not come in the next 60 minutes when I'm here. Even the dog is out and she's sucking on the dog. So I just wanted to show you how beautifully and evenly all of this is shredded. And the smell is just incredible. So I'm just piling it up. It's probably bigger bowls than you will use, but this is just for display. So now the benefits of being a consultant, you get to earn lots of different bowls. So I don't have to wash my other bowl, and I've got my bowl. So I'm going to put it in.
Okay, so the next step tells you to actually weigh all these ingredients, the next couple of ingredients that you need. I've already weighed it beforehand, and then it tells me to insert the cutter. So using the cutter sharp, you put it onto the blade. Maybe I should show you guys. So it just sits on the widest part of the triangles between the blades, if you get what I'm saying. So like that, pretty much on the opposite direction to how you would put the butterfly whisk. That's the best way I can explain it.
And you can't put it in the wrong way. It only
Yeah.
goes in one way.
You can't, yeah, you can't put it in any other way. So, and then it tells you to put the disc side one facing up. Yep, so this is the dark.
Actually very clear.
Yeah.
On the top it does say side number 1. Now,
Now this is a lot of ingredients. Okay, next. This is probably going to be loud again, like I said before. So just bear that in mind. Okay, so just return
this way so I can read it too, but you will see the result.
Let's start this. And it turns to for 1 minute on speed 4. Oh, would help if I take this out. That's just like a feeder.
So what I'm just going to show you guys the onions that I have sauteed in my TM5. And Actually, I need Ilham to step me through the next. I need you to like
Oh, sorry.
Look,
I've been in two places at the
dial on
same.
the screen.
Okay, so the next step is just to transfer it to a bowl.
Oh, do I? The onion? Oh.
Everything, yeah, and because you're going to put in the blade powder, remember?
Yeah. All right. I would totally have just like not done that. I'm not very good at following instructions.
I've done that before, but then the onion completely disintegrates and disappears. So don't do it.
Yeah. We want a little bit of texture. We like texture.
Yeah.
So I'm going back to my mixing bowl since I already had it, and no cross contamination because it's going to get cooked again. So this is where I put my blade cover peeler. Now you'll see on the top of the blade cover peeler, there's a little gap. So that gap fits where the you'll see it. It fits where the kink in the blade goes up. So that just sits on like that, doesn't come off. And
Sorry, you go, Claire.
you go.
Yes, I just wanted to show you my letters.
Yeah,
So
sure.
the key to the cool cut letters is dry letters and put them together as tight as you can. So the recipe says straight away arrange it in a bowl. So I'm not going, because this is only for my home, it's not like for Michelin star competition. I'm just going to keep slicing and grating my vegetables in the bowl, and then I'll just arrange them as they come.
Obviously, it'll get too full if you do all of it.
Yeah. Oxy, do you want to also let me know, because my TM5 is it's telling me it's all on the same slide, so it's all on the one side one. I thought
It does, and then it does grating in the second half.
okay.
Carrots are grated, but the rest are sliced, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to show you look how good this is. Guys, forget the Subway. Look at this. This is amazing.
It's have unique dietary requirements that vary depending on their age, size, lifestyle, and health. They deserve food that's specially formulated to meet their needs.
Someone is watching an amazing show.
My lettuce, I don't know if you can see the lighting is cut. I'm just going to get a plate to put it in. Totally forgot to do that.
I'm just putting my onions in, putting 50 grams of red wine.
And then 800 grams of canned chopped tomatoes.
I'm slicing my onions. No, here we are. I do love my onions, so I'm going to put a little bit more. The recipe tells me. So I'm just going to place it in, and with onions, there is an option. I'm going thin, so you have two thickness options: thin and thick, and it goes down so quickly. So all your coleslaw will be incredible, especially for upcoming summer.
I'm going to use some veggie stock paste in mine instead of salt. So I'm just going to use a tablespoon of that. I like a generous tablespoon.
I'm going to show the onions.
I don't know what I did with my lid. Oh, here we go.
You probably can't see it, so I'll take it out. The onions are cut on the thin side, and it's unbelievable. It's so thin, it's beautiful. It's like a proper professional slicer. You know, the ones that supermarkets have. This is so just continue to arrange my bowl.
Who's enjoying the cutter? Who's enjoying watching it? Don't worry, Elizabeth, you'll get your time. You'll get one. So I just added in, I've got my beautiful sparkling black over here, and I was cheating and skipping. Ilham needs to skip hers.
Sorry. Let me just.
So we're now doing 10 minutes at 100 degrees on reverse speed 1. And I just skipped the sugar too.
What would you do instead of sugar? Yes.
Nothing.
Okay. I can't do that. My family's so used to sugar. I'll do honey.
And it's like tomatoes are sweet.
Yeah. But tomatoes are acidic though, so it needs to break that acid. I feel. I don't know. I'm just so used to sugar. So bad, I know.
Yeah, well, like we do honey. It's only 5 grams. What is that one?
So that's my onions now. I'm just putting it next to the lettuce. I've run out of room on my bench with the two thermomixes right next to each other like this. So
Did
I'll
we
show
show you
you
how to
another.
do put the onions in so that they chop properly?
yeah, so they're chopped like this.
Yeah. It's really noisy. What's going on in there? You guys hear that?
No. I'm sure it's nothing compared to how loud the TM5 was when I was trying to.
Hey, it's cooking my food for me.
Okay, yeah. My next step is tomatoes, but I'm keeping an eye on my slow cooked meatballs that I've pre-started at 420. So we can teleport you the ready cooked meatballs. So probably a couple of more seconds. What I wanted to say, when the slow cook mode is on, the motor stops and keeps the sustains the temperature. So the motor is not always on. The motor comes on and comes off. So basically in 20 seconds, my meatballs are going to be ready. While this 20 seconds, ta-da, and we are ready. I'm going to open. Would you like me to open and show Claire now? Ta-da, this is good.
So love you guys to type in the chat if you do have a cutter, what you've been making with it. Look at those meatballs. So they cooked for 3 hours.
I just don't want to pour it, knowing my coordination and balance. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop it in my favorite thermoserver that I use for entertaining a lot. And I'm just going to do it softly so you can see. Just 3 seconds.
Thermo servers are the best. So that's going to keep Oxy's meatballs hot for 2 to 3 hours. So I love to sort of make dinner in advance if I've got a bit of an afternoon free and then I'm not crazy in the evening. So I can literally start dinner at 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock even and get that on and it's nice and hot. So if anyone here does, or actually who does have a thermo server, love you to like put an emoji in the chat or raise your emoji. Can you see there's reactions on here? If you got a thermo server. Yep. So Carolyn.
Yeah, so the bottom of the server, the bottom plate goes over as a lid as well for transportation. It sits better than the actual lid if you need to transport it. I just wanted to show you the blade cover, how it sits, and that's how the slow cooking works. And it's very, very easy. It's also available as a host reward if you host a demo. It can be a good present as well for someone who already has a Thermomix. And I'm going to show you this amazing meatballs. The color is fascinating. You can also add like 3 mix Italian if you want, but the fact that the Parmesan is inside the meatball. Also, instead of pork, I use turkey. Turkey also gives that, turkey means also gives that light fluffiness, and the meatballs are better with a mixed meat, different meats. So it looks really, really good. It's amazing. It's really good. Mine does have sugar, Claire, forgive me.
It was literally only 5 grams.
Yeah, it's only 5 grams. It just, I think it cuts off the acidity, but probably not. Next time I'll try it without.
I just want to show you guys how nice this tomato, don't look at my fingers all full of lettuce, but look how nice the tomatoes cut with the cutter. Perfect. So it's honestly saves you so much time chopping in the cutter, then chopping by hand. I am just doing a quick clean out of my cutter because it is very, because I just chopped tomatoes, it is a bit wet because my tomato wasn't, it was just under, it was more on the ripe side than firm. So there's a lot of juice in there that I don't want to like bring it into my, when I grate the carrots and the cucumber now, so, and the avocado, so I'm just going to
I'm
get
so
rid of.
consumed with the smell of my meatballs that I just want to eat it and say goodbye to you now, but I won't do that. I'll be doing what Ilham is doing. I did go and picked not plumpy tomatoes. I picked the firm ones, probably less juicy. So let's see how we go. And I'm going to pile 2 up and do this. I put the pusher straight away because the motor starts so quickly. So I
Yeah.
just put my hand on the pusher. And Ilham, did you go thin or thick?
I just followed this ring. I just followed this ring.
Too thick for tomato.
Yeah.
Okay.
The TM5 doesn't give an option of thick or thin. It just
I'll make it
said,
for you.
it just
What do you-
said
Huh?
on the screen.
What about it? Oh, there's another 2 later. What do you want?
I'm not sure if somebody's
Fiona,
asking
that was
questions.
Fiona.
Someone wants something
I
really.
muted her.
Sorry. Like my tomatoes are ready now. Yes, they are looking amazing. The smell is incredible. I wish I had a better light, but I'll show you on my 2. Like here we are. This is how thin they are. So I'm going to keep arranging my.
So does anyone know how they can get a cutter at the moment? Does anyone know that? So you can actually get a cutter by becoming a consultant, and you can get a blade cover peeler. So 2 for 1. So it is a pretty fun way to get our exciting products, and they will be available to customers, just not yet. Worldwide shortage. There's millions of Thermomixes around the world, and we just can't keep up. You know, when you've been making a product for over 50 years, you've got a lot of raving fans. But yeah, we do have a little bit of stock for our new consultants coming on board. So if anyone wants to come on just for that, we'd love to welcome you. And Oxy, Ilham and I are all from different areas. So I'm from Canberra. Ilham's from Preston, so South Sydney.
Yep, and I'm from Kazakhstan. No, I'm joking. I am from Kazakhstan, but
Look how beautiful these cucumbers were cut.
you are so in front. You're winning the race, Ilham. I'm talking too much. Yeah, and I am from Shoalhaven, from beautiful Shoalhaven. And the reason I became a consultant because my sister was she's a Tupperware lady in Kazakhstan, and I really wanted a flexible job. I have 3 children and my husband works away. So I decided to become a Thermix consultant. I had a TM5 at the time, and I didn't have the consultant for myself at the time because she left. So what I did, I just went on a website and I put in the interest that I'd like to hear more about being a consultant. And in 20 minutes, my amazing team leader called, Elizabeth Harvey, and I'm still in love with the business. I'm in love with the people that I know. And being an immigrant is a little bit hard because you come to a country without a social network. You don't go knocking on the door and say, hey, can I be your friend, right? So joining a Thermomix, I'm here for the community, and the community is amazing. I'm saving money. I learned how to plan my meals. All my children cook. My daughter moved out to Canberra. She is studying right now in the first year, and she has her own Thermomix that I earned last year, and she's cooking. So it's an investment in my children's future, the fact that I can cook. For me, cooking is like swimming, you know, it's a life skill that saves money and investment in your health. Now, I can either talk or do something, so I'd rather do my carrot,
So great at multitasking. Here is the sauce for my meatballs. So I've got the onions and the tomato bases. And then pretty much the next step is to add my meatballs. So they're all just sitting here on my bench, which is probably not great for food safety, but you know, got a few hours. Plonk all those in. Now mine are quite, I don't know how these all fit, but something's going to happen in here over the next 3 hours. It just says add them, stir in with spatula. So I don't want to do too much stirring. Don't really want to break them up much. Just make sure they're sort of reasonably covered. And then I'm going to put my simmering basket on again. And on the TM6, so once Ilham gets there, you'll be able to see what it is.
I just realized I was meant to do that.
No, you're right. Thank you. So it shows 3 hours at 95 degrees, and that symbol on the right there, that's the slow cook mode. And so that will just work its magic, do its thing. In the TM5, we're going to do 99 minutes.
Yeah.
So all the way up to 99. I'm going to take it up to 95 degrees. I'm going to put it on reverse, which is not on the dial, which I keep pressing the dial. And I will do slow stir. So that slow stir is what that symbol will do, but I think does it ever pause? Do you guys remember whether the slow cook pauses, or does it always do slow?
It just slowly moves around all the time, doesn't pause at all.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's just the slow stir. Yeah, awesome. So that's how you would do it in your TM5. Just a little bit manually, follow the recipe. Too easy, right?
You'll just have to go back and add more time when it's ready to.
Correct. Good point. So when 99 minutes is up, you can probably test your meatballs, they'd be fine, but for the purpose of slow cooking, you might want to add on another hour or another 99 minutes.
I just wanted to show the difference in slicing. I'll try to, it's hard to be short. Yeah, this is a little bit thicker and this is thin. So you can see the difference. For Buddha bowl for the future, I think I will do thin, but my children like thick. So it's completely up to you which one you want. So I'm still rearranging my beautiful bowl, and the colors are amazing. They do say eating your rainbow is very healthy. I'm just going to.
So Oxy, you're definitely right. The Thermomix for the TM5, it doesn't say thick and thin because we don't have the modes that the TM6 has. But the TM5 shows 1 minute or whatever, however long for the time, and then it's either on speed 4, always on speed 4, but either on the blades or the reverse blade. So that when you go on the blades for then it's either thick, and then if you go on reverse, it's thin. Because I just did on side 2, which is the grating side. It's normal blade and speed 4, and it did quite a thick grate for the carrots, was a thicker grate. So that's like that. So yeah, definitely always speed 4, definitely always just reverse, do a reverse of it. But yeah, that's all my veggies done. I'm just dropping veggies as I go because there's no room on my bench. But let me just put the carrots somewhere on there.
That the bowl stays clean with the kata. So you have your own separate container, and you have a bowl for the next step, whichever next step is. So that's what I like. I'll just finish with my carrots. I'm talking too much. I'll stop talking.
How did your avocados go?
Oh, my avocados were this afternoon. They were a little too firm still, so I wrapped them in foil. I put it in the oven at 90 degrees for about 10 minutes, and it's nice, soft, and ready to go. And it's actually cut this thin. There are some mushy bits, but most of them are perfectly thin. Perfect.
Oh, Oxy's doing hers.
I'm going to do mine now. I already prepared my second one. I'm not going to push it too hard, but I'm ready. So let's see. Так, let me wipe my hands. Так, all right. I'll go thick. Let's see. Так, the motor is starting. And let's go. And that's it, 3 seconds. I know some people can chop with avocado themselves, but if you have lots of avocados, I sell lots of Thermomixes for the catering purposes. This is, guys, this is amazing. You ready? Now I don't have to mush it. Hopefully I will not mush it up with my fingers, but actually it looks amazing. Look, how good does that look? I did buy some firma. This one is a little bit, because I had other veggies in there and I didn't clean it like Ilham did.
Yeah.
But look, how good is that? That looks amazing. So when you go to the cafe and ask for a Buddha bowl, now this is even better. Sometimes I can be so fastidious with my cafe choices lately. It's just not the right thing for me, or not the right juice.
And they cost so much more money to buy them than to make them.
I know, that's just really very annoying, actually.
The other thing is, guys, if you don't have a cutter, you can still make this dish. You just chop the veggies up by hand, how you always would have, grate the carrots. So you can do this dish, you can do the chicken component, you can do the rice component, and these guys are about to show you the yogurt dressing. And then while your chicken's sauteing, you can slice up your veggies by hand.
So just don't forget, please, everyone with cutters, don't forget to take the shaft out of the bowl. And just a quick trick, what I do is I have to store it so I don't lose it. I just store it in the small part of the feed, the pusher feed, or whatever you want to call it. So I just store it like that. Because we've had a couple of customers that have forgotten to take it out and chopped and whatever else. So yeah, just be careful and make sure that you take that out of the bowl. So I'm waiting for you. Can I go ahead and continue?
I apologize. I'm just going to move my disc to number 2 to for my carrot, and here I am. Tak, and I'll go thin. Ta-da. I'm doing only 1 carrot, and the reason for that, because most of the people in the house have.
We've lost you, Oxy. Kill the sound.
I did it. Okay, let's have a look.
I actually love the black with the cutter. The cutter matches perfectly with the black Thermomix.
I'm just going. I hope you can see it. Look how cool this is.
So you did yours thin.
So let's see there. I feel so much happiness in my heart just looking at these little carrots, and they look cut out so perfectly. Look at it. Look.
It's like a little bed of hay, carrot hay.
Some of the brain regions to regulate the stress response so that you don't overreact.
Wow. Well, our stress response is down, right? We don't need to regulate. We have this, and look at this. It's incredible. And it's just done. If I didn't talk, it would have done less than 30 minutes or so. But this is amazing. Yum, 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 yum.
All right, now you got to do
I
the
could give
sauce,
it to you.
Oxy. Show us the sauce.
Okay, so we've got the reserved chicken juices that we had earlier. Going to pour that in to the bowl. Just put that aside. All my dirty plates. Next, we are going to add the 7 sprigs of fresh coriander leaves only. And then half a teaspoon of sea salt. You can actually add a little bit of the vegetable stock like Claire did earlier, because this is going to be a liquid anyway, it'll be fine. And then 3 pinches of black pepper. That should be fine. Next.
I've done this one with coconut yogurt as well, to make it dairy-free.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to add 250 grams of natural yogurt. So this is just
I just wanted to share the yogurt that I use. It's Claire's favorite because it has a very high level of whey, right? Oh, whey. I apologize. That's a wrong word for cooking class, right? Claire, I'll give it back to you. Could you explain, please, why do you love this yogurt?
I use the Jalna pot set, not the Jalna Greek, because the Jalna pot set has extra whey for when making your own yogurt. You need a really high whey content yogurt to make your own yogurt, and then you don't have to buy it again as long as you save a little bit for the next time. But I like to strain my whey out of my yogurt to make it Greek style, which is what that one is. So yeah, just if you are planning on making yogurt, then reach out to us, let us know if you have any issues and we can help you out.
And for my 100 grams of mayonnaise, I'm using Cookidoo. No, I hope that's the right pronunciation, or Cookidoo. But you can make it.
I think it's cute.
You can also make it in Thermomix. There is a recipe for that. I haven't tried yet because my children love this mayonnaise so much. I go through it a lot. Maybe I should start making it.
Get to choose your oils when you make it yourself.
Yes, that's right. I'm just going to keep going. Let's see. Here it is. Only 15 seconds for a mix and the dressing will be ready.
Only 15 seconds.
mine's done. And that's my salad dressing ready to go.
Yum.
It
Oh,
is-
why didn't I make the Buddha bowl?
well, I'd rather the
3 hours of my meatballs.
tonight. Okay, so I'm just gonna dress my bowl and put everything together and show you guys what it looks like. The end.
The color is amazing and the smell is just the coriander. I hope all of you love coriander. You either hate it or not. But
If you don't like coriander, just put mint.
Yeah.
instead.
So what I've got in there is I've dished the rice that I've already pre-made before the class, and then I've got all the veggies that were just cut with the cutter, and then we're just going to add the chicken we cut up earlier.
It's amazing. Ilham's definitely our plater-upper when it comes to presentation. No offense, Oxy.
no worries, I won the race though. Mine is ready. She's still going. I can go and eat.
Yeah, that is true, Oxy. I always waste time, especially when I want to take photos for my socials, and my kids and my husband's ready to eat, and I'm still taking photos and still dressing up my plates. But yeah, you can just add a few of that, like this, a bit of the sauce, and then just take some coriander, which I've had a bit of earlier, but I just had them ready to go, but just garnish with a bit of coriander. And garnish with a bit of cashew nuts.
Yeah, can
And
you
that's
take a
the Buddha
photo?
bowl done.
Ilham, can you take a photo for us and we'll send it in the wrap-up email?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, it looks amazing. What do you guys reckon? Can you see yourselves making that one? Yeah, and don't wait for the cutter. Just chop it up by hand. It's delicious.
Now, guys, you probably noticed on all of us tables, you have 2 Thermomixes, or in Claire's case, you have 4. So when you become a consultant, every year you have an opportunity to earn a free Thermomix. So in my 2 years, I've earned 2 Thermomixes, and it's just so generous. I'm really.
And because the business is generous, you can be generous by giving, because I gave one of my Thermomixes as a gift to my mom. So that's the best thing about it too. The more you get, so much. So I mean, what are you going to do with 3 or 4 Thermomixes? So yeah, the best thing is that we can actually pass it on to our family members as a gift. and it's such a it's a like a big gift to give. So
Just before you guys duck off, we'd love you to fill in a quick survey. So that one is just up on the screen. There's only 3 questions we'd love you guys to answer for us. Whether you're interested in hosting your own demo, if you don't have a Thermomix, or you're interested in, getting another one or whatever it is, then let us know. And also finding out more about being a consultant. We'd love your feedback on that. We'll follow up with you. If you're not connected to a consultant, we will be in touch. Otherwise, your consultant will reach out to you. Really appreciate your time tonight. Thank you, Ilham and Oxy. Amazing work. Now you can go and enjoy your food. And I'll just keep on waiting for my slow cooked meatballs. All right. Does anyone have any questions before we wrap up?
there may be questions in the chat, Claire.
All right. Well, look, I'll stop the recording. If anyone wants to ask anything, you're welcome to. Thanks, everyone.